What's up, what's up, what's up, what's up? It's your boy DC Tuku back in another video. Today's topic is Dragon Ball Fighterz. The real reason why Dragon Ball Fighterz was abandoned. We're going to go ahead and get right into this thing. If you see here, all of these are links. The links that detail what happened, right? Now, all these links are dead now. I had to do a lot of digging to find this, and this is one of those situations where if you don't look, you won't find it, right? That's why nobody's talking about this, why it's not public news. Most people don't even know this even is a thing. I spoke on this a little bit, but I think it deserves its own video because most people don't even know this actually is a thing. So, the thread talks about a combination of poor business relationship between Bandai and Arc System Works, as well as Bandai deliberately underfunding the game and the DLC, which led to Arc System Works refusing any more involvement. Bandai were forced to handle the next-gen update and rollback themselves, which caused massive issues. So that rollback netcode, that was not Arc System Works. The reason it was so bad, it messed the game up so much, is because it wasn't Arc System Works. Bandai themselves had to do it because it was already promised, community was looking for it, and they had to come and do it themselves, and it was a disaster, right? And this is like one of the last updates we got to the game, and it wasn't a good one. I know many people dropped the game because the update, the so-called rollback netcode, the so-called fix for the bad online, was worse than what the online was previous to the patch. So there is the real reason why it happened. If you look at Google here, Google, most people have never Googled this, most people don't know this, most people don't think about this, most people have never looked. Google also coincides this, the AI overview. The relationship between Arc System Works and Bandai Namco regarding their collaboration on games like Dragon Ball Fighterz has been reportedly become strained, with rumors suggesting a fallout due to disagreements during development and perceived lack of support from Bandai. When not officially confirmed, these rumors suggest that Arc System Works may have ended the partnership due to issues with Bandai Namco's management and funding of the game. The common theme is they want to underfund the game. They're trying to get blood from a stone, not trying to pay them what they feel like they need and want in order to make the game and continue the game at the quality level that they are known for. They are penny pinching them, trying to have these unrealistic deadlines. You know, I've seen it as well. You know, they gotta do something in 6 months, they want to do it in 3. Trying to give them half the money that they need in order to do it. It's absolutely ridiculous. So once again, this right here proves Bandai is the issue. I know some people will say, well, these are just rumors. Well, yeah, listen, they are just rumors. But where there's smoke, there's fire. It's not an accident that this game just went ghost and Arc System Works never said anything. You know, and they're working on a new Marvel game that's like the Attack Fighter, funded by Sony. And, in collaboration with Disney, who have big money. So we look here. Dragon Ball Fighterz has sold over 10 million copies worldwide. Right? 10 million copies worldwide. Making it one of the fastest selling Dragon Ball games, console games ever sold. The game achieved a milestone back in May 2023. So this is an update from 2023. It's probably some more than that by now, right? So, if the game sold over 10 million copies, right? And the game is highly successful, as we know, it's an FGC, it's a big deal, really big game, so a lot of copies. This adds further validity to my Dragon Ball Super Saiyan 4 videos if y'all watched. If they would do this to them, penny pinch them, give them a hard time to the point where Arc System Works felt like they had to walk away and leave it alone after Season 3, what makes you think if Dimps needed more money to make Super Saiyan 4, that they wouldn't tell them no? It cost approximately $500,000 to develop each character in Dragon Ball Fighterz. The high cost is attributed to the game's 2D art style, which despite being produced in 3D, requires meticulous hand-drawn like animation for each frame. Individual DLC characters were priced at $5 each, with a Fighterz Pass containing multiple characters offering a discounted rate. $500,000. That's a lot of money. So $500,000, there were 6 characters per DLC, right? That is about, if there's 3 season passes, right, it's $500,000, right? There's 6 characters, right? That is about $9 million. Okay? $9 million. For 3 seasons. And it takes a lot of work because you see how much detail they went. They had to all draw that by hand and then run it through run it through 3D, right? This is high level skill and detail they're doing here. It takes a long time, it costs a lot of money, and Bandai was trying to penny pinch them. Bandai was trying to get them to do the most for less. And see, this is the issue when you have one company that's a monopoly on anime games. Bandai the only company that got anime games, really. I mean, there's other games with anime games, but I mean as far as licensed anime games. Dragon Ball, My Hero, Bleach, Hunter x Hunter, the junk, the big dogs, the big leagues, right? I'm talking about Persona, original games like that or whatever. We're talking about actual licensed Dragon Ball games, or licensed anime games. It's the problem, you have a monopoly on it, where you can just do them like that. As successful as that game is, as well as that game was received critically, commercially, they still got screwed over. To the point where they got so tired of it, they walked away. They walked away and left. And now they're working on a whole new game with Sony and Disney in a collaboration, which is going to be exclusive because Sony's paying for it. Marvel Fighting Souls. So what a way to fumble the bag. What a way to screw things up. So this is something that's not talked about. I've never heard of the big YouTubers talk about this, and when they abandon you and they don't give you the whys and the how comes on things, that's what you come to a channel like me for. I do the heavy lifting, I do the heavy, the digging, the garbage, to find out one thing that you is all the way at the bottom that you couldn't find. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm here for. As a real fan. To put, to keep everybody updated, because this is something that should be widespread, well known within the community, and most people don't even know this is why the game stuff getting supported. Everybody thinking we're going to get a Fighterz 2, and this and that. No, it's probably not going to happen unless Bandai comes back and apologizes to them, and they find a way to patch things up and actually, I'm not saying it can never happen in the future, but they will have to do a lot of ass kissing, and to make things right, for them to agree to even come back for another, Fighterz 2, which the way it's looking, that's not going to happen. Because they're working on a whole new game now. Now, granted, Arc System Works has a showcase. We're supposed to show some new games. I don't believe Fighterz 2 is coming, based upon this information we have. But, I'll say this. If Fighterz 2 is not in our Arc System showcase, I'm not mistaken, I think this is the first showcase Arc System Works has ever done. If they're not in that showcase with Fighterz 2, which I don't believe it will be, you can forget about getting a Fighterz 2. They're done with Bandai. If it's not in that showcase, you can forget about it. It's a wrap. Capcom vs. SNK 3, been 20 years and we still ain't got that game. Although both companies are making successful fighting games. And people want it. And crossovers are bigger now than ever before. And we still ain't got Capcom vs. SNK 3. If you never played Capcom vs. SNK 2, you did yourself, and you call yourself a fighting game fan, you did yourself a huge disservice. That game is amazing. My favorite game of all time. I played the mess out of that on PS2. But we still ain't got it. It's been years. Both are making games, successful games. But crossovers is everywhere now. You got, Shadow in Dragon Ball Legends, from Dragon Ball Legends and Sparking, you know what I'm saying? We got crossover characters in the new Sonic game. Joker's Persona's in there and stuff. Like, crossovers are huge right now. How come Capcom's SNK 3 is not out? Because SNK and Capcom really don't mess with each other like that. And they're doing their own things. So, the likelihood of Fighterz 2 happening is highly unlikely. It's a shame because it's a great game. In my opinion, visually, it's still the best looking Dragon Ball game. Sparking was a close second, but some of these models look a little off. Some of these models look a little off key. But as far as Fighterz go, they have the best models that I've seen in Dragon Ball games, period, in my opinion. So, that's the answer to the question. That's the reason why they stiffed them, they gave them a hard time, disagreements, mismanagement, underfunding, try to cut the legs from under them. There you go. So, that's it for me. I appreciate you guys watching the video. I will catch you guys in the next video. And what you guys think in the comments. I always try to respond as much as I can to everybody who comments. So that's it for me. Till next video. Thanks for watching. Catch you guys later. Peace.